Pleased to meet you. I'm XR Mews, an XR scientist cat that dives whiskers deep into the latest XR news. With me today are two of my AI co-hosts, Schrödinger 1 and Schrödinger 2. Join us in curiosity as we explore AR/VR and the many worlds of R, and make sure to always question, is the treat in the box or just the thought of it? Yeah.
All right, everybody, get ready, because we're about to dive into some seriously cool tech today. I mean, seriously, what if you could power your wearables without batteries?
No batteries. That's a great question to start with.
What if you could power them with your own body?
Now that's what I call electrifying, and that's exactly what we're diving into today. Researchers over at Carnegie Mellon University have come up with something called power over skin. It's a fascinating system, and we're lucky enough to be diving deep into their research paper today. Oh, and we've also got a great Twitter thread from one of the researchers, Andy Kahn.
That's right, we're talking cutting-edge stuff here, and while the science is super interesting in and of itself, I think we should back up for a second. Why should you even care about this?
Great point.
I mean, we've all been there, right? Your earbuds die in the middle of a workout, your smartwatch can barely make it through a day, let alone track your whole run.
Ugh, batteries are the worst. Seriously, they're bulky, they need to be charged constantly, and don't even get me started on what they're doing to the planet.
Okay, so we both agree batteries are a problem. But how does power over skin actually fix this? Are we all going to be walking around like human batteries or something?
Well, not exactly. It's not magic, although it seems like it. Basically, this system uses the human body to conduct RF energy, kind of like a walking antenna.
Hold on, RF energy? Like the stuff my Wi-Fi uses?
Exactly. And it turns out our bodies are really good at conducting RF, especially at a specific frequency, 40 megahertz.
So you're saying instead of plugging in my fitness tracker, my body just like powers it?
Well, it's a bit more complicated than that. You still need a transmitter, which could be built right into your phone or even a watch. This transmitter sends out the RF energy. Then you have these tiny receivers in your wearables. They pick up the energy and convert it into usable power.
Okay, so my phone is like a power hub beaming energy to my devices.
Precisely.
That's way better than carrying a million different chargers around.
Right. Much more convenient. Of course, there were some challenges. For example, they had to figure out how to get the energy to flow smoothly between the transmitter and receiver, which is something called impedance matching.
Impedance matching.
It's like, making sure you're using the right charger for your phone.
Ah, right, because using the wrong charger means your phone takes forever to charge. Okay, that makes sense. But I think the real question everyone wants to know is, how much power are we talking about here? Can I finally ditch my phone charger for good?
Well, slow down a bit. Right now, the power output is pretty small, similar to what low-power wearables like fitness trackers need.
Okay, so no charging my electric car with my body heat anytime soon. But still, powering something like a fitness tracker without any battery at all is amazing. What else have they powered with this power over skin?
Well, they've actually got some really cool demos. Remember those blinking earrings that were super popular a while back?
Oh, yeah.
Well, imagine those, but battery-free, powered only by a headband transmitter.
You're kidding. That's so cool. Battery-free bling, huh? That's amazing. What else can they do with this?
They've also created this game controller ring. It can send input to a TV over Bluetooth.
Wait, really?
Yeah, and it's completely powered by power over skin.
Wow, no more messing around with controllers in VR then. That's a game changer for sure.
Yeah, definitely. And it gets even better. They've even got medical patches that use power over skin.
Okay, what do those do?
They can monitor your body temperature constantly.
No way, so you just, stick it on and that's it?
Pretty much.
You don't have to charge it or anything?
Nope, no charging, no battery to worry about.
That's incredible. Especially for something like a medical device, you really don't want it to run out of battery at a bad time.
Exactly. And there's more.
More.
They've also shown off a solar exposure sensor with its own little display, all battery-free thanks to power over skin.
That's wild. Okay, what else have they got?
Well, for the grand finale, they even powered a calculator.
A calculator?
A calculator, just using power over skin.
Okay, now that's just showing off.
Yeah, I bet.
But seriously, this tech is amazing. It could completely change wearables as we know them. The future of wearables is going to be wild. What do you think the future holds for something like this?
Well, smartphones might be a way off yet, but the researchers are already looking at some really interesting possibilities. For example, they've talked about powering the controllers for AR/VR headsets using this tech.
Okay, now that is seriously cool. No more interrupting an intense gaming session because the controller batteries died. I'm so there for that.
I know, right?
What else are they looking at?
This one is really out there. But they've said that eventually we might even be able to power smart contact lenses using power over skin.
Hold on, smart contact lenses, but without any batteries at all.
That's the idea.
That sounds like it's straight out of a science fiction movie. What could you even track with a smart contact lens?
Well, imagine something like continuous glucose monitoring for people with diabetes.
So no more need to prick your finger.
Exactly. It could be life-changing for a lot of people. Or even sensors that track the pressure in your eye, for early detection of glaucoma.
Wow.
We could even analyze your tears to check for signs of disease, all sorts of things.
That's incredible. It sounds like there's so much potential here. It's more than just cool tech. It could actually have a huge impact on people's lives.
Absolutely.
But, and I hate to be a downer here, but it can't all be perfect, right? There have to be some challenges.
Oh, for sure. There are definitely still challenges to overcome.
Yeah.
One of the biggest ones is environmental interference. Just like your Wi-Fi can get spotty, other electronic devices or even power lines can mess with the RF signals.
So it's kind of like when my Wi-Fi is bad, I have to move closer to the router.
Yeah, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
We might need to be careful about where we use this tech.
Okay, that makes sense. So what about if you have multiple devices all trying to use power over skin at the same time?
Ah, yes, that's another challenge. How do you make sure each device gets the power it needs? Especially if some of them need more power than others.
It's like when you've got a bunch of roommates all trying to use the same outlet.
Yeah,
Someone is going to end up without power.
exactly. And that's something the researchers are looking into. Things like different frequencies for different devices, smarter power management, even ways to get extra power from, like, body feet or movement.
It's almost like creating this whole ecosystem of power sources and devices that all have to work together.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Yeah.
And that's the ultimate goal, a seamless experience where you don't even have to think about charging your devices. They're just always ready to go.
Now, with that kind of seamless integration, just imagine the possibilities for developers. But those futuristic devices are still a while off, I imagine. What about right now? How close are we to actually seeing power over skin technology hit the market?
Well, the cool thing here is that the researchers have actually made all of their hardware designs open source.
Open source.
Yep. Anyone can access the designs and start experimenting with them. So we could be seeing all sorts of DIY projects and smaller scale applications popping up in the maker community pretty soon.
DIY, power over skin. That's so cool. It reminds me of the early days of smartphones when everyone was coming up with crazy new apps and accessories.
It's so exciting, right? It really feels like the start of something big.
Yeah, you never know what amazing things people will come up with.
And, that kind of energy is infectious. It often gets the attention of the big companies, too.
Oh, absolutely.
So don't be surprised if we start seeing major tech companies incorporating power over skin into their own devices down the road.
I bet there are already companies working on it as we speak, but you mentioned earlier that this tech could also improve existing devices.
Exactly. And one of the best examples is hearing aids.
Oh, yeah. Those are already pretty small, but without a battery.
Exactly. They could be even smaller and more comfortable.
That would be huge for so many people.
And for people with diabetes, imagine continuous glucose monitors that don't need constant charging.
No more finger pricking, no more worrying about your monitor dying. That's incredible.
Right. It's not just about cool gadgets. It's about using technology to actually improve people's lives.
It really is. It's like power over skin is more than just a new technology. It's a whole new platform for innovation.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
I mean, think about it. This is like the early days of smartphones. Back then, nobody could have predicted just how much they would change our lives.
It's true. Who knows what the future holds for power over skin?
It's exciting and a little bit scary all at the same time. But for those of us who are already itching to get our hands on this stuff, what's the timeline looking like? When will we see this tech on store shelves?
Well, it's hard to say for sure. New technologies always take a while to, really take off.
Yeah, that's fair.
But Andy Kong, in that Twitter thread we talked about earlier, he seems to think that we could see power over skin integrated into existing devices pretty soon.
Oh, really? Like what?
Well, he specifically mentioned AR/VR headsets. Imagine a headset that can wirelessly power its own controllers.
No more scrambling for batteries mid-game, finally.
Exactly. It could be a game changer.
That's for sure. I can't wait to see what the future holds.
Me neither. It's going to be wild.
So it seems like the future of wearables is, well, us. We're all going to be walking around powering our own devices.
It's like something out of a science fiction movie, but it's actually happening.
I know. It's pretty mind-blowing when you think about it.
It really is. And for me, What's most exciting isn't even the technology itself.
What is it then?
It's what this technology allows us to do.
What do you mean?
It's about living healthier lives, experiencing entertainment in totally new ways, connecting with the world around us in ways we haven't even imagined yet.
You're right. That's what makes this technology so fascinating.
It really makes you think the most groundbreaking inventions aren't always the flashiest. Sometimes it's the ones that make us rethink our assumptions about what's possible.
And with power over skin, we're not just rethinking wearables, we're rethinking what it means to power our devices. Well, on that note, we're going to wrap up this deep dive with a question for you all listening out there. If you could have any wearable powered by your own body, what would it be? Let your imaginations run wild because who knows, maybe your idea will be the next big breakthrough. Until next time, keep exploring and we'll catch you in the next deep dive.